It was a crisp Saturday morning when Mark decided to take Sparky, his loyal and always chatty dog, on a new hiking trail. They had explored many places together, but today something felt different, almost magical. The air was filled with the sweet scent of pine, and the forest around them seemed to hum with life. As they walked deeper into the woods, Sparky suddenly stopped, his ears perking up. "Mark, do you hear that?" he asked, his tail wagging excitedly. Mark listened carefully. At first, he heard nothing but the usual sounds of the forest, birds chirping, leaves rustling in the breeze. But then, faintly, he heard something else, a soft whispering, like 1,000 tiny voices calling out from the trees. Curious, Mark and Sparky followed the sound until they came to a clearing they had never seen before. In the center of the clearing stood a massive tree, its bark shimmering with a silver hue, and its roots sprawling out like the fingers of a giant hand. Sitting on one of the roots was an old man with a long, flowing beard and a twinkle in his eyes. "Welcome, travelers," the old man said with a warm smile. "You've found the Whispering Woods." "The Whispering Woods?" Mark repeated, feeling a strange sense of peace wash over him. The old man nodded. "This forest is ancient, older than you can imagine. The trees here hold the memories of all who have passed through. If you listen closely, they'll share their wisdom with you." Sparky, being the curious dog he was, trotted up to the old man. "And who are you?" "I am the guardian of this forest," the old man replied. "I watch over the whispering tree, which you see before you. It's no ordinary tree, for it has the power to grant a single wish to those whose hearts are pure." Mark and Sparky exchanged glances. A tree that could grant wishes? It sounded like something out of a fairy tale. The old man chuckled, as if reading their thoughts. "But beware," he continued, "not all wishes bring happiness. The tree knows the truth in your heart, and it grants wishes in ways you might not expect." Mark thought about what the old man had said. He had many wishes, of course, like everyone else, but as he stood there in the serene clearing, he realized that what he truly desired wasn't anything grand. He wished for something simple, more time to enjoy the peaceful moments of life with his best friend, Sparky. Sparky looked up at Mark, his eyes full of loyalty and love. "What about you, Sparky? Do you have a wish?" Mark asked. Sparky tilted his head in thought. "I just wish for us to be happy, Mark. To keep exploring, having adventures, and always being together." The old man smiled, his eyes twinkling with approval. "Then perhaps you both have already found what you seek," he said softly. Mark and Sparky stood in silence for a moment, absorbing the old man's words. They didn't need the whispering tree to grant their wishes because they already had what mattered most, each other and the simple joys of life. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, casting a golden glow over the clearing, the old man rose from his seat. "It's time for you to leave now," he said gently. "But remember, the wisdom of the forest will always be with you." Mark nodded, feeling a deep sense of gratitude. "Thank you," he said. "We'll never forget this place." With that, Mark and Sparky turned and walked back the way they came, the whispering of the trees fading into the background. The path seemed shorter on the way back, and soon they found themselves at the edge of the forest, where their car was parked. As they drove home, Sparky curled up on the passenger seat. Mark couldn't help but smile. He realized that sometimes the greatest adventures aren't about finding something new, but about appreciating what you already have. And so, with hearts full of contentment, Mark and Sparky continued on their journey together, always seeking new paths to explore, but never forgetting the lessons they had learned in the Whispering Woods.